Hello, everybody.
Welcome to episode 3 of My Skeptical Sister. I forgot who we were. I forgot her name.
Welcome to episode 3 of My Skeptical Sister. I'm Erin, the believer.
And I'm Megan, the skeptic.
And we have some really cool stories today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about my story.
Me too. I've been avoiding the email like crazy so that I wouldn't read the one that came in that I'm gifting to you, even though I saw it first.
It was time. You finally gifted me one. I gifted you several ones.
I know. That's okay. That's fine. We're not going to dwell on that part.
Just kidding. But no, yes. But the exciting part is this is from somebody neither of us know.
Okay. The really exciting part is that both stories are from people that we don't really know.
I didn't know both stories were.
So the one that came to me, and we're going to talk a little bit, but just to start it out.
Excited about what's to come. And by the way, you can also fast forward all of our small talk if you want to.
But why? That's why I listen to podcasts.
That's true.
I love the small talk.
I do too.
If you don't like the small talk, this is probably
some people are here just for the ghost stories.
Yeah, but we small talk throughout. So
that's all we do in life. You and I is small talk.
That's just how we tell stories.
In fact, I just ate dinner at her house earlier tonight,
and we were very
awkward because we had to try to save it all up for the podcast.
Like, oh no, I'm not going to talk about that.
Can't talk about that. So let's just talk about how good this spaghetti was. She did make an amazing meal.
Oh, thank you.
It was so good.
Yes. Well, the other podcast, the one that I've got, not podcast, the other story that we have tonight is technically a Facebook friend, but I've never met her in person. Like I am in all of the little Facebook podcast groups because I have an obsessive personality, I think, is the best way I can describe that.
Well, they're fun. They each bring something different to the table. I'm in a couple of different little groups.
Yeah, and it is fun because when they're like-minded people, there's few arguments. Sometimes it gets out of control. But
none of them. I want an argument.
No,
I need to join your groups.
No, I'm not in any that argue. I'm just saying, like, I've been in some where they got so big that it, then you get trolls and all that jazz. But the nice little like subcategories. Well, so she friended me. Well, actually, I don't know how we friended each other, but
what was your meet cute?
Our meet cute is that they were moving to Kentucky, so they found a My Favorite Murder Kentucky group, and like said, "Hey, I'm moving here. Anything, any ideas?" Cool. And so I was like, well, sure, be my friend. And so I've never met them in person. And
this is your story or the one?
This is the one that I'm going to read.
Oh, okay, cool.
Very cool. And it's not actually ghosts. It's different.
Oh, I know. That's intriguing.
I know. I'm excited.
But so just to clarify, you've never actually met her, but you are in a group and Facebook friends?
Yes, okay. That's correct.
Okay. I didn't know if you said My Favorite Murder because we are big My Favorite Murder fans. If you've never heard of that podcast, definitely check it out. I'm sure
we're the ones telling you about it.
I'm sure. Yeah, but some people might not have heard of it yet. But it is awesome. Actually, probably our inspiration for doing this, if we're totally transparent, because they have so much fun together, and it's like, why not just do something like that?
Yeah, that's right.
That's fun.
Yeah, we need fun right now.
But yes, we definitely need fun. Speaking of fun, I don't know if it's fun, but self-care. Have you done any self-care this week? Because I had a couple little, I was like really trying to be intentional with my self-care this week. And here's how I worked it in. I looked for the longest line at a Starbucks when I was kid-free so I could sit in the drive-thru as long as I could. And really took advantage of that time. It's like, oh yeah, traffic was really bad. Hope my husband isn't listening to this, but I had to, I enjoyed sitting there listening to podcasts, and I was just hoping that line didn't move. Everybody else, I'm sure, was like, come on. And I'm like, this is glorious. So that was one little nugget of self-care. And then Sunday, I said, this is the day I'm going to sleep in. And I woke my husband up and I said, it's your turn. You get up with the kids. And then, of course, I couldn't turn my brain off. And so I laid there and I thought, you know what? I almost got up and started getting the day going and everything. I thought, no, I will not leave this room until I have had enough time to actually have slept in, even though I'm not sleeping. So I got up and I did yoga.
Oh, nice.
Which just proves that this is 2020, that exercise has now become my self-care, because that is not normally my self-care. No, but it was nice. So, trying to work a little self-care into
that's
the
great.
week. How about you, Annie?
I've been drinking a lot.
Yes, that's wonderful self-care. In fact, we're drinking Palomas right now.
We are.
Posted a little pic on Instagram if you want to check it out.
I've actually, truthfully, not been drinking a whole lot, which is weird. I don't know.
Some people would consider that self-care. I'm not one of them, but good for you.
No, it's weird. It's not even really intentional. We play euchre with, Megan and I play euchre with our other sister, Kelly, and our mom every Tuesday night on the computer. On our phones. How old am I? We play.
Well, mom plays on the computer because she can't figure out how to work a phone.
So she FaceTimes on our dad's phone, and then
then he sets up for her,
and then plays euchre on the computer while we just do it all on our phones. But man, I was really feeling those bourbons on Tuesday night, and I tell you what, I hate that you have tagged my boss in this because I woke up a little bit like, oh my gosh. But oh my gosh, it was rough. And then nothing sounded good to drink until really tonight. Tonight's my first time really having a drink since last Tuesday. And it sounds like it shouldn't be that long, but boy.
Sometimes the bourbon goes down rough. It goes down smooth, but feels rough the next day.
It felt real rough the next day.
And Erin is the one who taught me how to make a good Paloma. Yeah. So if you want that recipe, we'll throw it up there on Instagram.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we're not going to tell you on here. You got to go find us on Instagram. Yeah, you got to go
find us on Instagram, My Skeptical Sister. And look at me. I remember the name of our podcast that time.
So proud of you.
But we'll put the recipe up there because it is my new favorite drink for sure. And that's what we're both drinking tonight.
Yeah. I did want to tell you one scary thing that happened last night.
What is going on?
Not nearly as scary as the alarm going off.
Okay, well, what happened?
And it wasn't even, before I tell you.
You've held on to this.
I know.
Since last night.
It's not really good. This is why I could hold it.
Okay.
So it's, before you try to debunk it.
Oh, okay.
I am fully aware that it was a dream. It was fully a dream.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Dreams can definitely be scary.
But usually dreams are really dumb to listen to. Like other people retell you the dreams, but I am still going to do it anyways.
Yeah, you're good. You always tell me your dreams and I'm always interested. I don't know about anybody else.
That's so nice.
I always find them very fascinating, but we'll see what the rest of the world thinks.
Well, I'm only going to tell you, I don't even remember the bulk of it, but I remember being so scared and then laughing so hard that I was like, I need to remember that. So my dog Ellie, which is probably one of the reasons we do our podcast over here
and not at my
snoring.
House.
She's the loudest She sounds like a freight train. It's insane. But I can tune it out when I'm asleep. I'm a really light sleeper, but with her, I guess
you'd have to. You'd have to adapt to that. It is like a freight train.
And she's like a magnet to me. She is always right near me. So she was sleeping on the floor right beside me, and I never ever wake up to her. But I woke up to this big, like, grunty snore. And it scared me because I don't normally wake up. And I turned to look that direction. And I don't know what I was dreaming. I must have been in the woods or something in my dream. But I swear I thought there were branches like hovering over my bed.
Oh my gosh.
No sleep paralysis. As soon as I thought they were there, I kind of sat up and then I realized they weren't. But I was heart racing panic and then cracked up like, what is wrong with my brain?
That's where it goes to.
Yeah.
You know, what's funny is that usually our ghost stories remind you of your experience.
Yeah.
But your dream reminds me of our ghost story today.
Oh my
that I'm going to read.
Gosh, that seems like a beautiful segue. I think we should go for it.
Get right into it?
I think we should.
Okay, let's do it. So I'm really excited because like we said before, I don't know this person. I would love to know this person. Her name, guess it.
Well, I know because.
Oh, yeah. It was in our email. But everybody else, go ahead, guess it. I gave you a minute to guess it. Megan. Her name is Megan. And she, I'm telling you.
That's our third Megan if you're counting you.
We got something going on here in this podcast. But she spells a little bit different. Meagen. I had never had it spelled. So maybe it's Megan. Or Megan. It might be Megan. I have heard Megans before.
I have too.
I'm going to call her, but she signs off as Meg.
Okay, so let's call her Meg. Yeah. And let's, if we're saying her name wrong,
Yes. Sorry if we're saying your name wrong. Definitely send us a little shout out. I mean, maybe friend me on Facebook because she sounds like, first of all, the way she writes is beautiful.
Okay.
And second of all, the way she describes her life growing up, I'm like, I would have loved that childhood. I mean, I loved my own childhood, but this childhood, I'm like, wow, this sounds like so much fun. So we're just going to jump right into it. But I really, before we even get into it, I just wanted to say, like, I really appreciated her writing. And here we go.
Well, this is the one that we had the teaser to.
Oh,
right?
Yes. The title is
subject. Creepy
AF Michigan Farmhouse.
And you challenged her, but now
I did, but now I want to be your best friend.
Okay, cool.
So Megan, hit me up, girl.
We're just going Meg.
Okay, we'll just go with Meg. But if it's Megan, it would be Meeg. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. She'll let us know. She's my new best friend. It'll be fine. Okay. So and this will be something we'll joke about and laugh about in like 10 years. Like, remember back when I called you Meeg? Or when I called you Meg and it was Meeg? Okay. So anyway. Okay. Hello. I'm so excited about this.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. I am also a Megan. So I guess, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I forgot that when I read it earlier. Man, we are everywhere. Yes, we are. But I am a believer of any and all things.
So really, she's an Aaron.
Really, she's an Aaron trapped in a Megan's body. But I'm like, all things? All things. That's interesting. I like this again. I like to
Well, now I feel like I believe in most things.
Okay. Well,
maybe not black-eyed kids. I think that's too.
What is it?
No, I'm sorry. We'll talk about it later. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
You might not want to know about it.
Very curious. Okay. Black-eyed kids.
Yeah, they're too scary, which is why I don't believe in them. But we'll talk about it at the end.
Like, people think it's a real thing?
Yes, we'll talk about it at the end.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Megan. We did not mean to interrupt your story. That's just what we do. Okay. I am also a Megan. Man, we are everywhere. But I am a believer of any and all things. My childhood home is a huge contributor to this. Our farmhouse was in a rural part of Michigan's Lower Peninsula. We did have a few animals like pigs, goats, chickens, so many chickens, and we grew a lot of our own food. Like, doesn't that sound awesome?
That does sound awesome.
Yes, I would love. That was like, I'm like, more animals and a big garden. Well, that's me now. Back then I was probably like, more Cheetos. But
I was like,
now,
that's you now? You have a big garden? But no,
I wish I had a big garden now. Then my kids would be like, we ate food out of our own garden. But
Mother, again, I'm hungry. I went and got some tomatoes.
Cheeto girl in the 80s, Cheeto mom now, and I can't get rid of the Cheetos. Try to, but okay. We heated the house with cut wood. We had a clothesline to dry our laundry. My siblings and I did 4-H.
Oh, so did we.
Yes, we did too. Aaron and I, Megan, are big 4-Hers. We both taught at, or I guess we were camp counselors. I taught nature and she taught recreation. And so we loved 4-H. We're in a 4-H teen club.
Yeah, I could do a cheer for you right now. I won't, but
head, heart, hands, health. I mean, we could tell you the 4-H's for sure. You'd pledge it, but we won't. Okay. I was basically an early 2000s Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Oh.
Is it Laura Ingalls or Laura Ingle? It doesn't matter. We all know who we're talking about. Little House on the Prairie, unless you're like real young.
This is where you lose Megan as your best friend.
I know. I should know that. But by the way, I always wanted to be Laura Ingalls. Running down that hill with those braids. Oh, she was the best. The house itself was unassuming. White siding with a towering brick chimney that stuck out above the dark roof line. Roof line?
Roof line.
Yeah, not roof. Where am I from? Roof line.
Roof.
Okay.
My dog.
I'm going back to the prairie days, the roof line. The house also sat on top of a hill, and behind the house, everything gradually sloped down into the chicken coops, goat pen, the gardens, and the wood pile. I mean, can't you just see it?
It sounds amazing. Sounds like the start of the movie.
It really does. Or Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, right. They've already made that.
Right. They have, yes. Okay. We had a big black Labrador that was our nanny dog. She would follow us around and make sure we made it back into the house safe every night. She was the best doggo. The house itself wasn't too bad. Just the occasional sound, voice, chill, and moving shadow here and there.
But it's not that bad.
Again, everyone's so chill, so comfy with their ghosts. Oh, the woods out back, on the other hand, completely different story.
Ooh, woods freak me out.
Woods, I know. I'm like, oh. When we moved out to the farmhouse, the surrounding land hadn't been developed. We were the only house for miles. Of course, you had your run-of-the-mill coyotes, bobcats, weasels, owls, etc. I'm like, that run-of-the-mill? If you're in Michigan, out in the woods, I guess so. I'm like, that'd be amazing. So my siblings and I were only allowed out into the woods once we got bigger and if we came home before dark. At one point, there was literally a dinner bell. Laura Ingalls Wilder. I love her. Okay, the first day my mom said Kyle and I could go into the woods, we were thrilled in all capital letters. Kyle was 110%. Okay, I also love Kyle too, by the way. Kyle was 110% convinced that Bigfoot lived in those woods. She said, and like she definitely, with asterisks, however, knew better. Bigfoot lives in the Pacific Northwest. and this was Michigan. No,
duh, Kyle.
No way he lived in our backyard. I love it. We pulled on our barn boots. Oh, they had barn boots. That's so fun.
I know, they're the best.
I mean, don't you want to live there? Okay, we pulled on our barn boots, filled a backpack with snacks, grabbed a flashlight, because crackers. I mean, you can't go anywhere without snacks. Grabbed a flashlight from our dad's workbench and set off down the hill past the chicken coop all the way to the edge of the yard where the first row of trees grew. We had been chattering the whole way down the yard, thrilled to ditch our baby sister for the afternoon. Sorry, Emily. Oh, that would have been you. You're the youngest sister.
Oh, that's true.
But once we stood at the edge of the woods, everything got quiet. Too quiet. No birds, no buzzing of the bugs, and no roaring croaking from the frogs and peepers.
Peepers? What's a peeper?
Peeper. I was so tempted to look up peeper, but I didn't, so that we could have this exact conversation. That's true.
What's a peeper? Oh.
Yeah, you go to the internet and type in peeper, you're going to find all sorts of stuff.
Show me the peepers.
So people from Michigan, what are peepers?
Oh, I don't know.
If you had to guess, in Kentucky, what would a peeper be?
A man in a trench coat. No, I'm kidding.
Out in the woods?
No, I'm kidding.
What is he peeping at out in the woods?
I think he wants you to be the peeper. You know what I mean?
No.
Peeper.
Yeah, no. I get that he's like a looky-loo, like he's like trying to, but I'm saying he's out in the woods. What is he peeping at?
I was just kidding.
But a peeper, I'm thinking like a weasel.
No, because she definitely said weasel earlier.
Oh, maybe that's why weasel's in my mind. A peeper might be like
I would think of maybe some kind of little animal that makes a lot of noise. Maybe a
beep 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 beep.
Sure.
There's a Morse code. There's a Morse code of some kind. Yeah. Okay, we're very curious. Please, somebody let us know what peepers are.
We could Google it, but we're scared.
Yeah, I don't want to Google it. And it's kind of more fun just to hear from listeners. Because Megan, please share this with your Michigan friends. Meg, please share this with your peeper friends. Your Michigan friends. If you have peeper friends. Don't tell them. If you have peeper friends, tell them to get help.
If you have peeper friends, just tell them to subscribe, rate, and review
first, but then go get help from somewhere because they need to stop doing that in 2020. I mean, they should have never been doing it, but now it's really not accepted. Okay. Oh my goodness, that went way off track. Okay. Being the older sister, I knew I had to take the lead. So I took the first step into the woods. In an almost cartoonish way, everything seemed to snap back to normal. Birds were singing. We could hear a woodpecker. Bugs were drifting by, and the sun peeked through the canopy of trees. Totally normal. On we skipped, adventuring deeper into the woods. Kyle was probably talking about what to look for in terms of signs of Bigfoot. But I just wanted to find the best tree to climb. I'm with you, girl. I loved climbing trees when I was little. I had already conquered the giant apple tree out by the cornfield, and I needed a new challenge. Up ahead, I found my target. Oh, man, it was a giant oak tree. I tugged Kyle along, and we tumbled through some brush and into the clearing. Huge mistake. Suddenly, everything was still again. The light coming through the trees was an eerie and dark shade of green. I could hear the blood rushing in my ears. Oof, that like gives me chills because like when that happens, you're like all of your senses are up, right?
Yeah.
Something's not right. As I looked at this massive tree, nothing grew around it for a good 30 feet in any direction. The bark was old and scraggly. No leaves were on this tree, despite it being midsummer.
Ooh.
And there was the smell, decay, musk. It smelled kind of like an animal, but nothing like we had on our farm. Kyle and I were rooted in place, staring at this monstrous tree in the front of us. Afraid to move, afraid to look away, a low, almost rumbling noise seemed to reverberate through my body, starting in my feet and gradually overtaking my hearing. Kyle saw it first, and his shriek of terror made me finally pull my eyes away from the tree.
Oh, okay. What? So her...
Like she felt it. Like she didn't just hear it.
But nothing is visible on
Not
her,
yet.
right? Okay.
Not yet. She just feels the sound, but just like she feels it. Ooh. A tall, willowy shadow was standing at the edge because she was looking away. And so then when she hears him shriek, she turns.
Oh.
A tall, willowy shadow was standing at the edge of the clearing. Dark, bipedal. That's amazing.
I want to be friends with Meg too.
I know. She used a word like
Keepers
bipedal.
And bipedal.
Oh.
Bipedal Boppity
Bipedal.
What does that mean? I love it.
I don't know. Bipedal. We're gonna look that up.
And
that one I feel like is good. That's safe enough to look up.
Okay. Please know that we're just in awe of how cool you are.
Yes, you use the word bipedal. Okay. At least 8 feet tall, with arms that dangled in an almost broken way.
It's my dream last night.
I know. That's what it seems like creepy branches. It came to you before it happened.
Ooh.
Okay. I felt my blood turn ice cold as I grabbed Kyle's hand and we ran as fast as we could. Briars scratched my face and arms. Branches broke as we tore through the underbrush. Kyle was sobbing and we ran, and a little voice in my head was saying, "Don't look back, don't look back, don't look back." Tears pricked the corners of my eyes, and I thought we were never going to get out. My chest hurt and my brain felt fuzzy trying to remember how to get out. Suddenly, sunlight. We were in our yard, but we didn't stop. We ran all the way into the house. Kyle and I burst into the kitchen, wailing about monsters. You know what this is going to remind me of, though. La, 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 la.
Now we got to tell that story.
We'll go back to that, yeah. Kyle and I burst into the kitchen, wailing about monsters. My poor mom was so confused and could barely make out what we were saying. She sat us down at the kitchen table, made us a drink, some water, and just chill. When we finally stopped babbling and managed to tell her what we had seen, she sat puzzled. Looking back, she was probably trying to figure out what in the hell kind of animal could look like Bigfoot to the couple of elementary school kids.
Did it look like Bigfoot?
Yeah, she brings back Bigfoot, but the way she described it, I'm gonna say I was not a Bigfoot. I mean, I got a theory,
like a
but not
man
right.
A tree man.
Yes,
that's what I picture.
Yes, a giant stick bug.
Yes, Meg, please write back because also we want to be your friend.
Yes, I mean, we don't even have to do this podcast anymore. If you'll just be my friend, it'll be enough. Okay. She paused for maybe only a second before telling us it must have been another tree, and that we just thought it was Bigfoot. I guess like their little minds were like, it must have been Bigfoot that we saw, but the way she's describing it does not sound like Bigfoot.
The broken arms just makes me think of branches. That's what.
Oh, or Bigfoot broke his arms.
Oh,
that's
so sad.
That's so sad. He's like, help me. And they're just like running away. Okay. Just thought it was Bigfoot because that's what we wanted. At the time, I agreed with her. Of course, Mom, of course it was a tree. How silly of us. But I knew that sour smell lingered in my nostrils. That was no tree.
Oh.
Kyle and I never talked about what we saw that day again. Occasionally, we will mention how the woods were totally haunted by something, laughing nervously. But we never talked about
the tree. Gosh. Call him right now.
I know. I don't want him to listen to this. I want him to write in his version.
Yes. I want Kyle to be my friend.
Oh, no. Okay, I get Meg, you get Kyle.
But then I want us to all merge together.
Yes,
drinks
the four of us.
COVID's over.
Oh
my gosh.
Fun. In Michigan. Let's go road trip. It'll be so fun.
Meg's like, I'm never listening again.
Right,
These girls are
stalkers. It's okay, Meg. We're fun stalkers. We're not mean. Okay, but we'll buy the drinks. maybe like a couple.
The first round.
The first round. We're not going to go
teachers.
wild. Right, exactly. Okay. But we never talked about that tree, about the silence, or about the terrifying run for our lives back to the house. And that's my scary woods story.
Oh, well.
I love how she and that's it. If you have any theories about what the actual hell we saw that day, I'm open to suggestions. Thanks for adding to my spooky podcast list. I'm always geeked out when I find other people who believe or don't.
Oh, nice.
I know. Have a great day. Meg in Minnesota.
In Minnesota? I thought she was in Michigan.
No, I just realized
maybe she now lives in Minnesota.
She now lives in Minnesota, which I love. Meg in Minnesota. I'm like, you need to start your own podcast, Meg in Minnesota.
Or she needs to write books. Like the way she tore through the branches and it cut her face. I don't know.
I didn't even usually I want to stop and make jokes. And I'm like, no. I don't even want to stop during this one because I don't want to mess up the flow of her writing. It was so beautiful.
It was.
Definitely. If you're not a writer, you should look into that.
Yeah.
But
that was really good. Do we have to change the name of our podcast now? You're a believer.
No, I'm not a believer. I'm not because a few of my questions are elementary school.
Oh yeah, I want to know
what age.
How old
exactly. Are we talking 5th grade or are we talking like he was in kindergarten, you were in 1st? Or, so that part was kind of left off because when we were making a joke earlier about the la 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 la, our kids, we have our two youngest.
You've got a younger one now.
Oh gosh, I keep forgetting about her. Oh my gosh, it's awful. She's such a good baby. I just keep forgetting about her. She's great. She's in her crib right now. We just heard her cry and we had to pause. So she's doing fine. I mean, she went back to sleep and everything. She's good to go. But bless her heart. I will remember her once she starts talking. Okay. But for right now, my middle
and my youngest.
That's weird. My middle and your youngest are about the same age, about a year apart, and they run this neighborhood. They're all over the place, and everybody knows them, and they're just hilarious together. And they have created this little chupacabra, that's what we call it, in our neighborhood.
Yeah, so in the summer, the neighborhood kids, we still let them play outside as long as they were outside and keeping their distance.
Yeah, we kind of quarantined with the neighborhood kids because what are you going to do? You can't keep your kids indoors.
We can't keep them inside all the time. We would not
die. Right.
It was not a matter
of territory again about complaining about our kids, except for we're just going to say they cannot stay inside with us.
No.
During the summer. They have to during the winter, but during the summer, go outside.
Please. Yes. Yeah. So I think I was inside my house and they came running over. And it wasn't just the younger ones, it was my middle one too. And she had just turned 8 at the time. Mm-hmm. And the next door neighbor who is in 6th grade. They were older.
That's true. Yeah. All freaked out.
And they said, you got to come over. We heard an animal or a monster or something.
But the funny part is you're thinking like a growling sound or something. But it's very musical monster because it goes la 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 la. They'll do it all the time. They're
you'll hear them. That's when it comes to our younger ones.
Yes, that's how they describe it. However,
the creepy moment in this story is that they made me go over there, and I do feel like I'm a bit of a lazy mom where I was like, it's fine. And they're like, please come. It's like, fine. They convinced me. I walk over. It's in our neighbor's yard. And he has no kids. A single man who apparently had said, I don't care if you guys run back. If you drop a ball over the fence, go get it. No big deal. He's really nice. So they were back there playing, taking advantage of him, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And they said it was under his, these big trees. So I was like, well, okay. So I looked thinking these kids are
crazy,
kind of dummies, but I'll look under there. So I lifted the branch, and when I did, something else, I'm sure an animal.
Sure.
It looked as though they had been holding a branch back, and when I looked down, they dropped it, so I couldn't see it anymore, which is what is weird.
Very strategic raccoon.
Yeah, I was like, oh, well.
Wait till it's a little prankster raccoon. It's wait till she gets close. I want to drop that.
It was scary enough that I was like, let's just not play back here ever again. And then we left, and then that's when we came out. We're like, what did it sound like?
And then it started that da da da, and they'll sing it. They're so funny. That's how they scare each other now. But I will say that Miles and I were walking not too long ago, and Macy James and my youngest. She was in the stroller. God love her. We were in the stroller and we're walking along, and she was in the stroller, and we're walking along, and this was like dusk. So, it was like, okay, we're going to do one more loop, but then we got to get home before it gets too dark. And I did hear and he looked at me, he said, that's it, Mom. And it was musical. I think it was like a bird. It was like a whistling, but it was unlike any bird I'd ever heard. So I will give it that, but it had to have been a bird, but it was like a little melody that I could hear the la, 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 la in. And I was like, oh my gosh, we've been making fun of you all for so long. I mean, not to their faces, because we're not mean. They're not mean moms. We're just not the best moms. But yeah, so that's where my theory goes to, is that, kids' imaginations are so big. They can
build each other up.
And they can build each other up.
Really want to know how old they were.
Yes, I do too. But here's the thing. I do believe in your instincts telling you when something is not right.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm proud of them for running and getting out of there. That's one thing that I teach, all of our kids is, if you feel like something is wrong, go, because it could have been a peeper out in the woods. You don't know. It could have been anything, but for some reason your instincts were up and it told you to get the hell out of there, and you all listened to those instincts and you did it.
Yeah. What makes me feel like it wasn't just little kids building themselves up is the fact that she had such a physical reaction before she saw anything.
Yeah, that's true.
That is really a weird.
Her fight or flight was already in mode before she even turned and saw it.
Yeah, that is spooky.
But I do think that you can feel other people's energy a little bit. So if her brother was looking at whatever it was that was, again, I want to know Kyle. I want to know what Kyle.
I know.
Here's what I need you to do, Megan. I need you to sit Kyle down
and record this.
Either record it and have him talk about it. You two do your own podcast. That'd be great. Or have him write it down.
Yeah.
And send it in before he listens to your account. And then we'll read it.
Yeah.
Because you guys clearly are a little awkward about talking about it, which I'm not judging that part. I'm just saying, girl, it's time y'all are adults. Sit down and talk about that. I would be like, do you remember? And what did you hear? What did you see? Because that's always very fascinating when two people see something scary. What did you, especially if you didn't tell the story over and over again when you were kids?
Yeah.
Because kind of those stories kind of mesh together and they meld together. And then it's like, well, whose story, when does one person's story start and the other one begin? So if you all have really honestly not talked about it, that would be really fascinating.
Yeah.
So
really
Kyle would love to hear from you.
Yes, that absolutely. I think that was such a cool story, Meg. I'm so glad you wrote in. And that little bit that right there that we're ending on makes me think of our mom.
Yes.
Who our entire lives has told us this UFO story that she has, when she was in her young 20s and teaching, she was walking her dog, and this little boy who I guess was just a neighborhood kid or lived in the apartment building.
Babysitting him. She was babysitting him, I think.
Really? I thought he lived in the apartments.
I don't know.
Near.
We would know. We've heard it.
I know. We've kind of tuned out after some point.
I thought she was his babysitter, but maybe not.
Well, anyways, they were walking in this, she was walking the dog and he ran up or she was babysitting him, and they were just talking while they were walking, and he was about 8 at the time. And all of a sudden this spaceship came really close to them.
And she always says, it was so close I could throw a rock at it.
And she explains it. She said she couldn't see any bolts. It looked really smooth, like smooth aluminum foil. But there was these darker windows.
And she felt like somebody was watching her.
Which now you would assume would be tinted windows, but this was
before they had that.
Before tinted windows were a thing, because it was in the 60s.
Yeah.
I don't know what somebody's going to fact check this and be tinted windows.
Yeah. Back in 1950.
But according to Mom, they hadn't been out yet. And she was like, I know that there were tinted windows. I know someone was watching me. And we heard that story for a million years.
Oh, our whole life. We grew up hearing that story.
And then this year we were sitting around outside, social distancing, very far apart before it got even scarier than what it is now. When we could still feel safe doing that. We were sitting around and one of us said, do you know his last name? Let's look him up. And we did.
And
we looked him up on Facebook, and we
we
ended up FaceTiming him, and he was like, I do remember that.
Yeah,
I was a little kid.
The same story.
It was wild. Just having that confirmation from somebody else is so cool.
Because not that we ever thought our mom was crazy, but it was like, let's hear from this little boy. So again, Kyle, write into us. We'd love to hear it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was an awesome story. Thank you so much for sending it in, Meg. Okay, well, I think that story was great, and I'm really excited for our next story. And
on our break, because we did just take a break, you might notice in the slight little edit pause.
I think we'll do a commercial in between there. So.
Oh, that's smart. There you go. But we made more palomas because that's how we roll. But right. During that break, come to find out, yes, Erin can claim this as her friend, her original friend, but I am friends with her too.
That's right.
On Facebook. Because
she listened to our podcast and liked it so much. I know.
I'm down. Listen, if you listen to this and I don't know you, come on, bring it on. Let's learn about each other. What else do we have to do during the pandemic but expand our Facebook friends and our social distancing?
Absolutely. At this point, we are so tiny, which it could always be this tiny, but
I'm okay with that.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's really, I would say 98% people that we already know. But if you're new and want to be our friend, we will friend you at this point, at least.
Oh, you mean like at some point we're going to start cutting people off?
We're going to be like, oh, this must be one of our listeners.
Our 100,000 listeners. Yeah, no, I really, and just like I said, if we just keep having fun reasons to get together every Tuesday night, I don't care if all of our original friends are like, well, that was cute, you all, but I only listened to episode 1. That's fine with me too, because I'm laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
And I like to feel like I'm famous, even if I'm not.
Well, I feel like we'll do this. So last week when we did this, we had 1 story extra. Now we have 2 stories. So we have enough for another recording.
It just keeps, So, but we definitely need more though. So please keep sending them in.
What I'm saying is, even if it just builds that slowly, that at least we have a story to read. That's as long as I'll do it. And even then, we've got our own stories. We can do 1 episode of just.
We did say last time we would.
Yeah, well, I cut that in editing.
Whoops, we went and got a drink again. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
But at one point, maybe we won't have a story and we'll just tell
our story.
Or maybe we're just ready to tell our story. You listeners or listener, let's be more realistic.
We're getting this
tell
together.
Us what you want.
We're figuring it out. We'll see what's going on. But yes, please tell us. That's the one thing I'm like, I want to know, and I'm okay with bad criticism. I
not
like being
in the review, but like just DM.
No.
Yes. Slide into that DM.
Slide into that DM and say, look, ladies, here's what you need to do. And I'm okay with that. Like, I've always been a big fan of constructive criticism. So.
Yeah, you should definitely do that too, Megan, because she's the bigger sister and can handle it better.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm the baby and I'll cry.
Yeah, don't make Erin cry. Just send it to me and I'll put it in a nice way of like, so
I got this great idea.
Yeah,
it's totally mine.
We're just going to slow our speech down a little bit. Okay. Yes. Let's listen to your story. I'm so excited. So this is Tiffany, right?
This is Tiffany, and it's not actually a ghost story.
Okay.
So we haven't gone too far into, we actually just talked about it a little bit before Meg's story about
UFOs.
No. Okay. I'm just going to read it.
Okay. Read it.
Okay. So it says, my name is Tiffany, and here's a little background info. I started having prophetic dreams.
Wait, what's prophetic? Again, in
I'm
big
glad
word.
You asked because she explains it right here.
Tiffany, thank you for realizing that I was going to need that explanation.
Which are dreams that predict future events.
Ooh.
Now, before I read any more, what are your thoughts?
Do I believe in that? Oh, okay. So like mediums, is that what we're talking about?
Sort of, almost like psychic.
Or like premonitions.
When I think mediums, I always think of like I can communicate with spirits who have passed on. But I guess they are a little bit more predictive too. But
that's a gray area for me. I mean, like at my core, I want to be like, no, I don't believe in that. But I'm not as closed off to it as I am with ghosts. Okay. For some reason. I don't know why, but okay, let's listen to it.
Okay, so she started having these dreams at the age of 7. Since then, I've had many more, and I've never been wrong. Never. She's never been wrong.
I'm going to need proof.
Oh, well.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
How about the story that follows?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if somebody else could write in and verify it for Tiffany, that'd be great. But we'll listen to hers first.
Okay. The type I have happened to be death or near fatal accident related. Here's the story of my very first one. So I'm 7. I went to bed on a normal night. Nothing strange about it. I dreamt that the entire maternal side of the family was getting on a plane, going on a trip, which is already weird because we were broke and never went on vacation. Me and my great-grandpa were first in line, and as soon as we boarded the plane, I freaked out to notice that all of the seats weren't seats at all. They were old-timey vampire-type coffins.
Oh, my gosh.
I know. So, Twilight. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. They don't even sleep on Twilight. Stop it, Megan.
No, of course they don't, because they're too busy sparkling. Go on.
Okay. You know the ones. Well, Papa starts walking toward one to get in, like it's no big deal, and I try to hold him back. He turns to look at me and says, "It's okay, darling. It's time. But don't you get thinking you'll never see me again. I'll be checking up on you to make sure you're okay." I got a little cold chills.
I did too.
I love you, kiddo. It's been 21 years, and I still remember even his voice saying those words. I'm so glad that you have that. Like, if nothing else.
She's going to make me cry.
I know.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know. Okay, he lets go of my hand and continues to walk towards the coffin, lays back, and closes the lid. And I wake up and, of course, yell for my mom with tears streaming down my face because, hi, I'm 7.
Sure. And I would be crying at 40. Yeah.
I like the way she says that.
Yes.
I tell her the whole thing, and she's consoling me, but like you and I would be, can tell she doesn't believe me when I tell her I know that he is actually dead. I'm sorry, that he actually died. So she's telling him, no, really, this is real. And her mom's like, okay.
Yeah, see, I do believe in these things, I think.
Okay.
I do believe in this.
Okay.
Go on.
Cool. Now, we didn't have a phone in our house at the time, and we lived about 15 minutes from my great-grandparents' house. My uncle shows up banging on the door 20 minutes after I woke up to tell us that my great-grandpa has passed away. My mom looks at me, absolutely in shock.
I bet.
Can you imagine? Invites my uncle in and tells him what I just told her.
Oh.
Meanwhile, I start trembling. Oh, this part's so sad. Meanwhile, I start trembling because I'm sitting here thinking I just killed my papa because of my dream. No. I was so distraught over this thought that I couldn't even make myself go to the funeral. Oh, that is so sad.
Gosh, that is
It was not you, Timmy. That was totally your papa saying,
it's okay, kiddo. I'm going to see you again.
I know.
Maybe he could have thought to do that after the funeral. Then it might have been okay.
No, but wait, listen. This is where it gets really good. So now here's where the really cool part. That Megan, and she spelled your name right. She spelled your name right.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
She's
you,
talking
Megan.
about me?
Yeah.
Tiffany, I feel so honored.
Famous?
Famous? I definitely feel famous that I've never met you and you're using my name? Okay,
correctly? I mean, it's spelled, Megan spells her name weird, and it's spelled right.
Girl. I love you, Tiffany. We could be best friends too. Okay.
You already are. You're Facebook friends.
Oh, that's right. But I mean, best friends have coffee. And is she local?
I'm not sure.
We'll find.
She's in Kentucky, but I think it's a little bit.
We'll stalk her as well. It's okay. It's fine.
Be leery about sending us your. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Please send them. Please.
We need them.
Okay, now here's the really cool part that Megan for sure won't believe. I love it.
Well, I don't know. I think I do. I believe her all so far.
I don't know. I love that she's already skeptical of your skepticism.
I love it. Yeah.
Since then, about every 6 months or so, even now, 21 years later, no matter where in the U.S. I have lived, I still see him disappearing around the corner as I'm out walking or walking past far away as I'm shopping, etc. I never fully see him, just glimpse, but I know it's him just checking in to make sure his little darling is doing okay.
Oh, I don't believe that, but I think it is so sweet. I think that it is. That is very sweet. I don't. Okay, the physical manifestation, I guess, is what I don't believe in. Like the feeling of I feel like you definitely, when you're that connected to somebody, and they leave, that I believe in, kind of having that that premonition and that okay, something has shifted in the energy of my knowing or whatever, but I think it's the physical manifestation that I that I just have a hard time with. That maybe like her brain wants to see him a lot, but I don't know. She sounds in tune with a lot of stuff. So
yeah, it's cool.
It is cool. Either way, it doesn't matter. Listen, that is your papaw. Don't listen to me. I'm just some silly skeptic. You see him, girl, and he is looking out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. These dreams have happened multiple times over the years, and I've never been wrong. Never been wrong. I just can't get over it. Never been wrong. And my family now knows that if I say, I had a dream about so-and-so, and you need to make sure you tell them you love them, they know what's going to be happening very soon. Since the death or near fatal accident always happens right as I wake up or about 2 weeks later. So within that time, that's like,
I want to know if she's ever saved anybody's life.
Yeah. So you're like, I had this dream
because
about
I
you.
also like to really become friends with her.
Everybody else. You like, listen, go call
don't
Sandy.
Get on a plane.
Poor Sandy's like, why is everybody calling Tiffany?
Why is feeling to love me all of a sudden. Oh yes, that would be friends with Tiffany. I know that would be a really creepy feeling. Like, what is going on?
Tiffany, I want to be your friend. I don't ever want you to dream about me because
that'll mean the end. That's just how it goes. Yeah, or warn me. I do want to know. Like, have you ever had that dream and then warned somebody?
Yeah,
kind of like Final Destination
I
stuff.
feel like
but
no,
again, I don't believe in that stuff. But
no, but it was a good movie. I didn't watch any other than the first one because Devon Sawa, love of my 9-year-old life, was in it.
Well, of course. You also loved another guy. I can't think of his name.
I love so many guys.
So many. When you were a kid, you had a crush on every like little male bopper guy. Covered. Oh my gosh! Yes.
Who else? Jonathan Jackson.
Fever. I don't even know who that is.
I started watching soap operas just because he was in General
Hospital. Of course. And then Twilight.
What was?
Wait, that's as an adult.
Sorry. Shut up. It's not wrong, but shut up.
But it ain't right.
Who was the really Brad?
Yes, that was the one. Brad Renfro.
Brad Renfro, and he died so young.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. I'm so sorry, Brad.
I know. I wonder if Tiffany had a dream about that.
Oh, that's sad.
It was a drug overdose.
Oh man,
I know. I would have licked his face.
Oh,
he was beautiful.
So gross.
Even in The Client, when he was like,
I really thought you were saying even in postmortem.
Oh my gosh. No, that dropped a line there.
That's where my mind went. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so extreme.
Oh my gosh. No.
Oh yeah, The Client. That was a good movie.
It's such a
If you're looking for something in the quarantine and you haven't seen The Client, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, let me just, now I feel weird because he was clearly a child and I'm a grown up.
But you were also a child when he was a child.
I probably wouldn't have said I would have looked at his face as a child though. This got weird.
I don't know.
This got really weird fast.
You were a weird little one. It's okay. I'm kidding. You were cute and funny. Tiffany, listen.
Wait. She's got one little last paragraph.
Oh, okay.
I hope you ladies have a lovely night, and thanks for making me laugh with Baby Sasquatch. Keep them coming, Tiffany.
Oh, Tiffany, I hope we're making you laugh. We make each other laugh. Again, whole point of this, just something to pass the time in these weird moments. But I loved your story. It was so beautiful.
I know. I want to hear more stories.
I do too. I want Tiffany to maybe be a guest.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Again, are you local? But yeah, because I want to know more. I want to know about more of these dreams. And I'm curious about like, did you ever save anybody? I think I already said that, but yeah, they're very interesting. And I'm not closed off to that. I don't know why. I don't know. That's the weird thing about my skepticism. I can't like draw a clear line on where it ends and where it begins.
Yeah.
Because UFOs, I totally believe in.
Yeah.
Now, is that Inception because mom? I don't know. Maybe.
No, I feel like you're a fool if you don't believe in UFOs.
Well, I mean, the universe is so huge. I feel like you're
huge.
very arrogant if you don't think that something, maybe not UFOs, but if you don't think that there's life out there other than us.
Right. Because
that's pretty arrogant.
This is where I get really dumb because I don't love science. But
I mean, she loves it. She doesn't follow it. Or
my gosh, I fully believe in science.
You believe in science.
Fully believe in science.
But you yourself are not a scientist.
Yes. Thank you.
That's what you meant.
So
that is what I meant. You're welcome. I was like, oh, let's clarify that. Okay.
People are like, I stopped listening because she doesn't believe in climate change.
We totally believe in climate change 100%. Because How could you not?
It's so weird to me. It's kind of like how I feel like, how can you not believe in ghosts? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm
now
kidding.
come on. That's not science. That's feelings. Okay, go on.
But no, I believe in aliens without any question, because there are other galaxies other than ours.
Exactly.
Like even if there's nothing else in our galaxy,
there is something in some other galaxy. There has to be.
There cannot be nothing else. And maybe they're just better at traveling, so they've come to us.
One time I was laying in bed with my husband, and he was like, we're both quiet, and I hear, and like my mind, you're just a girl, and you're like turning, like, so what are you thinking about? And he went into this explanation of the galaxies.
Oh,
that kind of, I lost all train of thought about like 2 sentences in, because it was so apt, like just so beyond my reasoning. And then he was like, what are you thinking about? I was like, how annoying it is when the dog licks herself. So clearly I'm on a different page as well. As much as I believe in science, I'm like, I don't understand any of it, but I do believe that there are other beings out there. That's just a given. But yeah, so that's what I mean though. Is like a lot of times when you'll meet people who are skeptics, they have clear lines.
Yeah.
Mine aren't clear lines. Like I do believe that you do feel connections with people deep enough that is believable to me, that she felt that connection separating in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know why, and this is kind of like a self-exploration. Like, why is it that I then shut it down at ghosts? I don't know. Like, why doesn't that connection, why isn't it able to live further on?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Huh.
But that's just where I am.
Yeah. Well, that makes me want to tell you more about black-eyed children, because that's another.
Okay.
We said we'd bring it back.
Yes. Tell me.
So I heard about them for the first time in that Liz Sauer podcast. What's that called? Ghosts in the Burbs. If you haven't listened to that one,
okay, yeah,
it's great.
It's kind of silly. I didn't get into it as much as you did, but
it is silly, and they are fictional stories. She has confessed they're fictional, which thank goodness, because otherwise,
she writes them all right. But they're good. It's good writing.
It's great writing. It would be really awkward if they were true, because she's not very nice. Kind of like you are.
I know I'm not very nice. I listened to last week's episode. I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to think I am a bitch, which sometimes I am. No, so I'm okay.
Totally not.
I will accept it. It's fine. Sometimes I am.
She's really not. But yes. But no, anyways, that's the first time I heard about it, which is just that but I've heard it about a lot since, where people truly believe that there are these black-eyed children who they don't know what they are. Are they aliens? Are they cryptids? What are they? But they're like these children who they can't come in, it seems like, unless you invite them in. But they really desperately want to come into your house. And
so they're just like children that appear.
Yes.
This is our neighborhood. This is our neighborhood. They just keep coming. Okay.
Right. But like normally late at night.
They're wanting a snack, aren't they?
But this is weird. They use like kind of weird language. Like they're almost like old schooly language, as if somebody had read.
Oh
my gosh, was that your dog? Oh my gosh. Willow, her dog, just stretched on the couch, and I almost pissed my pants.
Because your mind is thinking about black-eyed children wanting to come in now.
This is why I don't want to believe them, because they really freak me out so bad. So when they first come to your door, it's like weird. Everybody who has said they have these have.
Okay, I don't know. Is this for real, or is this like a show?
No, listen.
I'm gonna look into it.
Don't look into it. Oh, it's only gonna invite them to your house, and then they're right across the street from me. Don't look into it.
I dare a black-eyed child to come to my house.
Oh, F you, Megan.
We've already talked about how mean I can be. I'm like, oh, you want to knock on my door at midnight?
They'll be like, she's too tough. Let's go across the street. And then they're freaking at my house.
If you want food, go over there. You're not coming over here. Although I did have a really creepy, it was creepy, but it ended up not being a black-eyed child. Okay. But when I was like, right before my water broke. So like with Miles, my first, because we don't even know what the second one's name is, but no, with my first one, I'm just kidding. I do know her name. My first one, My water broke like 2 months early. But I remember I was sleeping at my sister-in-law's house.
Yeah.
And at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't sleep, and I was wrestling around.
When you first told me the story, I thought black-eyed child. Did I not say this?
No, because you've known this for this long.
Yes, I've always thought it was a black.
What? No.
But then you explained the rest, and I didn't. So that's
no. So I was, and you can cut all this out if you don't have time for this, because this is kind of a silly story. But it was. I mean, I remember being very freaked out, but it wasn't a ghost. It was just like, what is this little child? I was sleeping. Trying to sleep because I'm so big and pregnant, and tossing and turning, and my husband of course is snoring next to me, and then I hear this like little tapping, and I'm like, oh my gosh, is that my stepson Blake tapping or whatever? So I was like, well, just maybe, I don't know what it is. Go back to sleep. Ignore it. It'll go away. But I tried to, and then it just kept getting a little bit louder. So I get up, and I'm in a new house that I'd never been in. So that was kind of scary in itself.
Just visiting. Yeah.
Just visiting. And I go to the front door, and it's this 4-year-old, think of Miles.
Oh my gosh.
This little 4-year-old girl, so cute, barefoot in little pajamas.
I would have not opened it. I would have been like, get out of here.
You get out of here, you black-eyed child. I'm not going to look at your eyes because I know they're already black-eyed. Get out of here. We don't have any snacks.
I'm so glad you didn't know about this.
See, I am not the mean one. Because I was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Well, turns out her mom worked night shift, and her older brother, was supposed to be taking care of her. So she was asking if my niece could play, and I was like, honey, she is asleep. And I said, where are you supposed to be? It was the creepiest thing. And so she showed me, she pointed to her house, and I walked her back to her house, and I scolded that 17-year-old boy that was supposed to be watching her. I was like, look, I don't know what. She needs to be tucked into bed. You need to be awake until she goes to sleep. I don't know what kind. Oh yeah, he probably thinks I'm a black-eyed woman because I gave him a mouthful.
Oh,
but yeah, that was creepy. But she was a real child.
There was no moment when you opened the door at 4 a.m. that
she did not start speaking Latin. If she had, I'd have been like, ain't
Latin.
Nobody got time for this.
They'll just
I can't even understand you. Go get a snack somewhere else. Good night. And I would shut the door.
They'll just say things like, can we please come in and use your telegraph or something weird? It's like they don't quite know the English language.
No. Again, I would be like, where is your mom? You're not coming in my house. I mean, I really didn't let her in the house. I was like, no. You're not going to wake up all the children in here because I worked damn hard to get them to bed. So you're going to get yourself out of here, and we're going to go find your mom.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to be your mom.
Ugh, just talking about this for the last 3 minutes makes me scared
Freaked
to
out
walk across the street.
I'll do like I do while
When
you're
you
kids, and I'll watch you walk across the street and go to bed.
Oh, I hate it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So this has been so fun.
It has been, but wait. Okay. Before we totally close it out.
Yes.
I do want to say that my friend Teresa, who is, I think, a super fan at this point.
I'm sorry. Why wouldn't she be? No,
absolutely. She has rated and reviewed.
Good job.
She has subscribed.
Teresa. Yes.
Be like Teresa, people. She has also sent me a message after she listened to last week's episode and said, girl, I've got your back. That Ouija board moved on its own. So I just want to go back to that for just a moment.
Okay.
She was, so Teresa, we said this last week, Teresa and I used to play on a Ouija board. Mm-hmm. And Megan doesn't believe that it was moving. Mm-hmm. She doubts Teresa, which is weird because she's met Teresa and she's an angel. But our fingers.
I love Teresa. I think that you and Teresa and your little bitty minds were so cute.
We're
moving that little Ouija board.
We were about 13.
13's still pretty young.
And our fingers, I'm telling you, it is one of my most vivid memories. And I remember eating cookie dough, raw cookie dough, and sitting up
remember
there,
that part.
Listening to Rent before, oh, parents, we're fine. We're just listening to music. And then as soon as they went to bed, we're like, get out that Ouija board. And our fingers barely touched what's it called? Cursor. It's not a cursor. That's a computer.
It's like a cursor, but the little dauber. Is that the word?
No.
Beeper? I mean, it's got a little window in it.
It's something that everybody's shouting right now. Our our 7
tweet it to
listeners.
us. We don't tweet.
We don't tweet. We don't have a tweet.
No, we need to get something where people can leave comments.
Okay. All right. We'll do Twitter.
Okay, I guess.
I'm going to look and see if we can get a My Skeptical Sister Twitter account.
Okay.
We've gotten everything else, so I think it'll be fine.
Right.
But anyways, so our fingers barely touched that thing, and it went. I mean, it would shoot. I can remember the feeling of it, like pulling, and it was very weird. And she was like, "I've got your back." I would go on and tell everybody.
Okay, tell me so well.
So I remember we played with our friend Jeff. Well, no, we didn't play with him. He was on the phone because he was in love with Teresa, basically.
So he felt it move through the phone?
No. Listen.
Okay.
Let me tell my story.
Okay.
How about that?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So we were on the phone with him, and he was also like, "You all are dumb."
Uh-huh.
And remember, we're in like 8th grade.
Okay.
So.
I clearly remember that because that's why I'm debunking this.
Shut
in
up.
8th grade.
So he said, if you're on a Ouija board, ask it what word I'm thinking of right now. And so, of course, it spelled out SHIT because he was a little punk.
And you all were full of shit.
And we were like, okay, it spelled shit. And he was like, okay, well, that was obvious. I'll think of a different
I'm
word.
right there with you, Jeff.
But then I don't remember the second word he thought of, but it was like bench.
Convenient.
It was some dumb word that was not a bad word. It was like a random word. And we spelled it out, and he was like, I'm going to get off this phone. No. He was very freaked. And Teresa even said that years later, she saw him and asked him about it. And he's like, yeah, that was really weird. And ever since then, I've believed in Ouija boards.
Interesting.
Or he was still in love with Teresa.
Yeah.
She's
and
adorable. But no.
I mean, she is adorable.
No,
she is. And she's so beautiful. She's got beautiful skin. Yeah, I'm not a stalker. I'm just saying, like, when I notice something good about somebody, I need to tell them about it. Hopefully she'll listen to this. And
she will. She's a super fan.
Oh, that's right. Super fan.
In fact, next week, we're going to read Teresa's story, not about the Ouija board.
Well, also another super fan.
Yes.
My friend Jody.
And my friend Jody.
Yes, she is your friend. She is a mutual friend of both of ours, and she is amazing, and Teresa's amazing. So next week will be super fun. And eventually we'll get to our stories.
Yeah, we'll just
But
see
I'm kind of fun. I'm like, this is so fun. We both heard each other's stories a million times. Who cares about our stories? But yes, this has been so much fun. Ouija boards aren't real, but it's fine. I mean, they're real because they're wood and plastic, but everything else though, Tiffany, love you, girl. Meg. Girl, be a writer.
Yeah, we need to find Meg on Facebook.
We need,
befriend her.
I mean, yes, just friend her for sure. But everybody else, listen, please rate,
review.
What is it called? Rate, review, and subscribe.
Yes, please.
Because here's the thing, we get excited every time, and if you want to bring some joy to us, just do that because it makes us really excited, and especially review because I feel like we're kind of out here.
Yeah, it really does help get us out there to see.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you guys, somebody in Australia listened to us.
That's right.
I know.
That one Australian, I just want you to review so I know who you are. I won't stalk you. I promise.
But she doesn't promise. I promise you she doesn't promise.
I won't promise that. But I just think that's so cool. Somebody in another country.
Yeah. Australia, England, and
continent.
Spain. Now, we do have a friend in Spain, so I think it was Lithia who probably listened.
Yay! Lithia, if it's you, she was our Spanish exchange student. That's awesome. Share with your friends. We'd like more people from Spain to listen to us.
Had, after we talked about Canada last week, right? My Canadian husband, we had at least 3 listeners
from Saskatchewan.
Yes, when I first saw Canada, I was like, oh, it's probably my mother-in-law. And then I looked, and 3 were from Saskatchewan and not Ontario. So
hello.
I don't know anybody in Saskatchewan.
So those are the people that I'm like, review us. I mean, you can be honest. Again, I can take it.
I can't.
Let us know. I want to know if you guys are like, what are you all thinking? That's so interesting to me.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited about all of this. This is so much fun.
Yes.
Really,
again, even if we're just local and it's our best friends.
That's right.
Fun. And even if they hate it, you and I, it's okay. We can whittle it down to you and I. We'll listen to our own episodes. We'll have 2 subscribers. It'll be fine.
That's right. If you are our friends, you better be listening.
Oh, yes.
Even if you just turn the volume down.
I will deface you on Facebook. No, I'm kidding. That's what my mom calls it, defacing.
Your mom?
Oh, yeah, our mom. She's our mom. She belongs to both of us. She calls it defacing.
All right.
Hilarious.
You guys are amazing. Thank you for letting us do another episode. Please send in your stories at myskepticalsister.com. Artwork done by Sophie. The editing
is clearly
done by Aaron.
And the beeping is my husband James. We
only had
these.
Oh,
in the first episode so far. But that deep beep, I was like, oh, we didn't ever give him credit.
Yeah, we didn't even discuss it.
He came home. We were both very intoxicated. And like, we need you to beep for us. He sure did. He beeped it on home.
Oh, boy. Well, thank you guys for listening. I can't wait to record, and I can't wait for this to come out on Friday. Bye.
Bye.